The following compilation features unsettling and spine-chilling tales sourced from Reddit's horror communities. Reader discretion is strongly advised. These narratives may contain graphic descriptions, psychological distress, and themes that could unsettle sensitive individuals. Proceed with caution, as immersion into these eerie stories may provoke fear, unease, and sleep disturbances. Enter this realm of Reddit's creepy horror stories at your own risk, as the line between reality and the macabre may blur within these chilling narratives. A new flyer came in the mail. I opened it up and started to read. I couldn't believe my eyes. "Hey, come look at this," I said, pointing towards a section of the grocery store flyer. "Look how cheap these things are on this sale. $0. 49 for 2 cans of spaghetti sauce. There must have been a printing error," I exclaimed. Printed in large, bold letters at the top of the page read McCaesar Family Grocery. Never heard of that place. I thought to myself, "Look here, 2 packs of spaghetti noodles for $0. 50. My wife, Claire, stated. I peered up from the flyer and gazed at Claire's face, grinning ear to ear. "Spaghetti for dinner tonight?" I said. "Yes, please," she responded with a grin. I peered toward my watch. It read 9:35 am. I finished my coffee and put on my jacket when Claire called out, "Safe driving." "Lee, don't worry. I'm not in a rush. They are open all day," I exclaimed back. I opened the door and headed out. I got into my car and turned the key. I glanced at the flyer again to find the store's address. LM80HWY 32. I typed it into Google Maps. The location looked like an old, abandoned Walmart about an hour and 45 minutes away. I live in a small town called Mackinac City, Michigan, and the store is in Alpena, Michigan. I put my car in reverse and started my journey onto Highway 32. Everything was fine until about an hour in. Stretched as far as I could see was the biggest line of traffic I've ever seen. The word about the flyer must have gotten out fast. I let out a moan of frustration and started to scroll through social media, moving every 2 minutes or so. Finally, around 11:15 am, the traffic began to clear. As I approached Alpena, I noticed that almost every car that was a part of the traffic jam was turning right onto Highway 23. Weird. I thought they were heading to the store as well. I thought. I continued on my journey. I watched the trees slowly fade into buildings as I approached Alpena. I stared at the billboard outside of the store as I approached it. I flicked on my blinker and turned into the parking lot. The lot was surprisingly empty, only housing around 5-6 cars. I backed into the closest spot to the door and shut the car off. I stepped out and took a deep breath of the fresh air, stretching my legs. I peered towards the store windows and paused. 4 cashiers were staring at me, smiling through the window. I anxiously smiled and gave them a slight wave. No reaction. My smile faded. I popped open the trunk, grabbed a few reusable bags, and headed inside. As the sliding doors opened, a little chime played over the store's PA system, followed by a woman's voice. "Welcome to McCaesar Family Grocery. We hope you enjoy your shopping experience." I grabbed a cart out of the receptacle and started to browse the aisles. I realized that there were no price tags on anything, so I went up to the front to grab a flyer. I didn't see any in the basket, so I asked an employee. It was a young woman, mid-20s. She was looking completely straight, with a huge, painful-looking smile. Hey there, can I have a flyer, please?" She ignored me. Excuse me, can I have a flyer?" She turned to look at me. Her eyes terrified me. They looked empty, soulless even. I began to stutter my words out of fear. Do you, Without saying a word or breaking eye contact, she picked up a flyer from underneath her counter and handed it to me. Thanks. I took a deep breath and walked away, peering behind me to see her still staring. I started to calm down as I shopped. I was texting my wife about the weird employees, but they weren't going through. I decided to give her a call to ask her about what spaghetti sauce to buy. I typed in her number and put the phone up to my ear. It rang 2 to 3 times when Claire answered. "Hey babe, how's it going?" she said. Not too bad, I guess. Anyway, what kind of sauce do you want me to buy? They have garlic, regular, spicy." As I peered at the different sauces, I caught an employee out of the corner of my eye. It was an older man. He didn't match the rest of the employees I have seen. This man was frowning. He looked really unhappy. He was at the other end of the aisle, about 20 feet away, staring at me. I froze. I started to get creeped out when I heard Claire in my ear. "Hello, Lee. Are you there?" I snapped out of my trance and looked back at the shelf. Yeah, hello. Sorry, some guy is staring. Never mind. He's gone," I said, anxiously. "What do you mean?" "Are you okay, Lee?" she said in a worried tone. "Yeah, I'm good. Anyway, what kind of sauce do you want?" I said. Let's try the garlic one. That's the flavor my mom always uses," she said. "Her spaghetti is the best. I'm gonna grab a bunch so we have them," I said, excitedly. "Good idea. I'll see you later, hun. Be safe," she said. "Love you. Bye." I ended the call. I peered back up to where the man was and looked back down at my cart. I took another deep breath and started to push the cart when the PA chimed again. "Customers, please keep all devices off at all times to avoid interference with our PA system. Thank you." This was starting to get weird. I need to grab a few more things and get the hell out of here. I continued through the aisles when I received a text from Claire. "What store did you say you were at again?" it read. I replied, "McCaesar Family Grocery." Why? There was a short pause before she typed again. "It says online that it closed down 2 years ago." I froze. My heart started beating out of my chest. I looked up to see a man enter my aisle, pushing a cart full of items, smiling. To get checked out, I had to pass him. I started to approach, my heart beating faster every step I took. "These prices are amazing," the man said. He had a slight British accent and sounded like a droid. Yay, my heart was in my throat. The man stared at me for a moment and spoke again. "Do you own a mobile device? If so, you should shut it off to ensure you are following the McCaesar Family Grocery terms." I didn't know what to say. I was frozen. His smile slowly started to fade into a frown. I began to continue toward the store counter when he said something from behind me. "Rule breaker. You are a rule breaker, Lee." I whipped my head around as fast as I could. The man was gone. His cart, frozen where he was standing. Another chime played throughout the store, this time a note deeper. "Attention customers. The store will be closing on May 20th, 2022. You have about -2 years until we close. Everything must go. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. You. Lee is a rule breaker. Lee is a rule breaker." I gasped and looked around frantically. At that moment, every employee started to walk towards me, never breaking their gaze. On their faces, a frown, tears streaming from their eyes. All of them were repeating the same thing. "The store is closing. The store is closing." I pushed the cart into the closest one, which made him topple like a mannequin. I sprinted out of the store and jumped in my car. I was shaking badly and freaking out, so I dropped the keys on the floor of my car. I bent over to pick them up. As I got back up and turned the key, half of the employees were now surrounding my car. At my driver's side window was the lady who gave me the flyer. She started to lean back from the waist and began slamming her head into the window, cracking it. I put the car into gear and slammed on the gas pedal, sending a few of them flying. I looked in my rearview mirror as I drove away. All the employees were staring at me, smiling once again. Slowly, they began to turn around and walk back into the store, never breaking their gaze with me. I went 30 over the whole way home. The highway was empty. My heart didn't stop racing until I was home. When I pulled into the driveway, I didn't even want to get out, thinking that one could be still attached to my car. My wife came out to greet me and help bring in the groceries I didn't have. I jumped out of the car and latched onto her, sobbing. "What's wrong?" "Lee, what happened?" she said, worried. We went inside and I told her everything. Surprisingly, She believed me. This happened about 2 weeks ago, and I'm still struggling to sleep at night. I have done everything in my power to find information about this grocery store, but nothing is coming up. I can't even find the flyer I originally had. Claire said she left it on the kitchen counter and didn't touch it. I'm not sure what happened to me or who those things are, but I took one thing away from this whole experience. If it's too good to be true, it probably is. Thank you for venturing into the darkness with us. If you dare to explore further, be sure to subscribe to our channel for more spine-tingling tales of horror and the supernatural. Remember, the shadows hold endless mysteries, waiting to be unveiled. Stay tuned for more bone-chilling stories as we continue to traverse the eerie depths of the unknown together. Until next time, may your dreams be free from the haunting echoes of our tales. Or perhaps not.